New this morning, a third round of talks is scheduled for Monday between Ukraine and Russia. That comes a weekend after that saw two ceasefires fail when Russia continued shelling cities.
Meanwhile, Secretary of State Blinken says the U.S. is in active talks to end the import of oil from Russia. NBC's Bree Jackson has the details.
The Ukrainian government says Russian forces violated a ceasefire agreement over the weekend as attacks by Russian forces escalate.
They again, for the second time, refused to allow women and children to get out.
World leaders are considering new ways to fight back against Russia, including possible investigations into the country's actions.
Any attack on civilians is a war crime.
The U.S. is also in talks with Poland about a deal to send Russian-made fighter jets to Ukraine.
We're talking very actively about this, looking at what we could do to backfill Poland if it chooses to send the MiGs and the Su planes that it has to Ukraine.
Political pressure is growing for President Biden to impose a no-fly zone.
I would take nothing off the table, but I would be very clear that we're going to support the Ukrainian people, the Ukrainian president.
There are also bipartisan calls for a ban on Russian oil.
I think we have enough of it. We should produce more American oil and buy less Russian oil, or none, actually none at all.
The national average for gas has soared past the $4 mark. The Biden administration cautions prices could rise even more. Still, some Americans support tougher sanctions against Russia.
Or send the message, send all the messages. But I think we have oil here. We don't need to be buying their oil.
U.S. companies continue to pull goods and services from Russia, with Netflix and TikTok added to the growing list. In Ukraine, more than 1.5 million people have fled to safety. Residents not yet impacted by the violence remain wary.
I fear for my kids.
U.S. officials warned the war could go on for a while. In Washington, Bree Jackson for NBC News.
Dozens of people gathered at the steps of the Arkansas State Capitol for a peace rally for Ukraine. Ralliers waved flags and signs. Speakers prayed and spoke about their connection to the war-torn European country. The rally brought out a number of people with connections to the area, including a man who fled from the former Soviet Union.
Unless we know what drives him to this end, and we don't. We suspect it may be just restoring former Soviet Union, but I don't know that for a fact. So I cannot really suggest anything. But the world has to stop this.
And right here at home, the city of Monroe stands with Ukraine. The past week, the lights at the Monroe Civic Center and the water tower have been changed to blue and yellow in support of Ukraine.